Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you an Iron Man related loot video. This is going to be 10 hours of killing gargoyles. The goal for this video was to see how much GP that we can make in 10 hours overall, and also just see all the resources and supplies that any Iron Man who wants to kill these gargoyles for 10 hours or more will get. The gear choice for this video was just obsidian, as it goes for the plate body and legs. And then of course I went with a whip and a dragon defender for my main weapon. At first I was using an obsidian helmet, but I quickly switched over to a Nezi later on in the video because I did realize that this was better bonus and I did have one unlocked on this account, so why not bring the best gear that you're able to if you're going to camp something for a while. I did unfortunately forget my Ring of Wealth at the very beginning, and you definitely want to bring that here if you're going to be killing these gargoyles. So many of their drops are just coins and they really will add up over time, so save yourself a lot of clicking, especially if you're like me and you like playing on multiple accounts on the side. Ring of Wealth would really help for that. And as it goes for the inventory, of course I brought the full Guthan set. That was for the food, so never really need food here, and I don't have a Ceradome and Godsword on this account, so I was just going to be using Guthans throughout the video to get my HP back. But I made sure not to put it on too much, only when I absolutely needed it. This way I would save myself some money on the armor repairs. And a few last things to mention. The rune pouch was for nature runes and fire runes. As you can imagine, you are going to be seeing a lot of alchables throughout this video, and the key here was to never really bank unless I absolutely needed to. So that rune pouch being filled with high alchs was very useful, and that's where most of my money was made, other than of course their coin drops. So it's no secret that gargoyles aren't the most popular slayer task, but I really don't see too many people complain about them when they have to kill them. Their max hit is only an 11, and they can be found in the Canifis Slayer Tower, which is really accessible for most people, so they are really easy to get to. You just have to run all the way up to the top floor, and there you go. And I think it is important to note that this gargoyle was really big when Old School RuneScape did first come back to life. Being the only monster in the game that drops the granite maul, and having that as an item early on in this game, if you're especially a PKer, would be so beneficial and very powerful. So the gargoyle, along with all the other slayer monsters that have notable drops such as rune boots or abyssal whips, definitely saw their popularity come back when Old School RuneScape came back. So nowadays I would say you're only going to run into 2 different people, or maybe 3 different people here at Gargoyles. One of them being an Iron Man who is simply just doing Slayer, or maybe he's doing it off task in order to gain resources and supplies. The next one would be an average main just doing their Slayer task, and then you have the alternate account, which is what people sometimes do if they are doing something on their main account and they want to earn money for bonds or for something long term on the side. These gargoyles are really laid back and, accessible for that. And according to the Old School RuneScape wiki, the average kill at the gargoyles is just about 4k, but if you do this on a Konar Slayer task, it'll go up to 5.3k. Along with that granite maul drop that I mentioned earlier, that still stands at a price of 135k, and it is a 1 in 256 drop. You can also expect the black mystic robe top, which is very iconic. That is 1 in 512, but it's only about 71k, so you're gonna more so be looking for the granite maul. Obviously it does vary in price. It used to be very expensive and then it went all the way down to 30k, but nowadays being 135k, I'd say that's pretty decent. One thing I did forget to bring, as well as the Ring of Wealth at the beginning of the video, is the gem bag. That is pretty important to bring because the only items that are going to be making you bank a lot here, in my experience, are the unnoted rune ore and the loop keys, as well as the nature talismans if you decide to pick those up. So the gem bag will store every uncut that you do receive from these gargoyles, and with a Ring of Wealth on, that's going to be every 1 in 50 kills, so you might as well bring that along if you're going to be camping here for a while. During the making of this video, I was actually doing woodcutting on one account and then brutal black dragons on another account, my main, as you guys might have seen in my last upload. Recently that's what I've been doing. I've been enjoying doing multiple videos, multiple different monsters that are very laid back and very profitable and beneficial. Now that I'm learning and seeing how easy it is to do while multitasking, it really motivates me to put out more videos for you guys. So if you have any ideas on what you want to see next for 10 hours, let me know in the comments below. I'm actually working on 10 hours of Tazar monsters right now, and I'm doing 100 Gauntlet at the same time on my main, about halfway done with that. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. For any low levels watching who are curious if they are able to kill gargoyles, if they do have the Slayer level, of course, you can safe spot them if you do the doorway in the southwest area at the top floor or in the northeast corner of the basement. So it's up to you if you want to do that, but just remember they are located around aberrant specters that you have to run by, so just make sure to have that Slayer helmet on, even if you're going to be killing these off task. Overall, I did have to hop worlds a few times because it was a little bit crowded, but you can expect that when there's 5 different Slayer masters that do assign gargoyles, and they are just pretty beneficial and profitable to kill even if you're not going to be doing Slayer. Most of the money in the inventory story throughout this video was more so from the alks than it was the coin drops. I was just alking the rune plate legs, full helm 2H, and battle axe. And as it goes for the addy items, the boots and the plate legs were high alked as well. As it goes for choosing a whip to do this video, I know there's definitely better weapons out there, and you can even bring a blowpipe here if you want to range them, but for me, this was just the easiest way to do it, the easiest setup. You don't have to replicate this if you have better and bigger things to bring. Make sure to bring that along, and you'll get more kills an hour, which means more money an hour. And if you're ever in need of pure essence on an Iron Man account, which I imagine most people don't have that problem, but these gargoyles do drop them 150 at a time. The same goes for bars as well as gold ore, but it's not as often as people think, you know, 1 in 20, 1 in 40 sometimes to get those items, the steel, gold, and mithril bars as well. So you do have to keep that in mind. Just one Slayer task isn't going to get you that much smithing XP or cannonballs banked, but if you do camp these for 10 hours or for longer, you will definitely get a notable amount of them. And if the drops here, these normal gargoyles, are not impressive enough for you, just remember, if you get a brittle key and you get assigned gargoyles, you can always go kill the grotesque guardians. That is definitely the boss version of the gargoyle, and you can obtain a pet there as well as better cannonballs and much more. I don't know if I'm ever going to do a video on it in the future, but I'll definitely consider it if enough people do want to see something like that. The only difference there is you have to be on Slayer task, and here you just come here whenever and, you know, kill as many gargoyles as you please. The only other gargoyle thing that I could really find in RuneScape, which I'm sure there's more that are out there, but this is kind of the most mainstream one I found on the old school wiki, and that is this one on screen here. This was an interactive object in the 2014 Halloween event, and, you know, just kind of looks like he's sitting there. Unfortunately, there is no high score tracker for gargoyles that I'm aware of, but there is, of course, Slayer kill logs, which is what we showed at the very beginning of the video in the Slayer helm directly. You can see and track your gargoyle kill count, but I'm curious in the game who has killed the most gargoyles of all time. If anyone has any information on that, make sure to leave a comment below, or it just might be you. Well, we are coming to a close here, and this was a pretty good experience. As you can see, overall, the inventory is looking really nice. I mean, you have 8,000 pure essence, over 1,400 gold ore. That's really good for blast furnace for anyone out there. And luckily for me, the Guthans only went down 25%, and that was just the war spear, so I really didn't have to spend anything more than 15k overall on that. Here we are though, 10 hours has been completed. The overall KC from the 10 hours of gargoyles does come out to be 1,281, which definitely isn't the best, but that's not too bad. I'm really curious to see the average loot now and overall price of what we get. So let's go ahead and throw everything into the price check. We are already seeing over 1 mil GP just in everything other than the coin stack, but if we do throw that in, it looks like we made roughly 4.5 million GP, and we still have other things to price check. 5 granite malls as well as all the uncut gems, 25 rune ore, and the malls alone coming out to be 611k. Price check though being 1 mil. So the overall loot 5.5 mil, meaning we made 550k an hour just AFKing on the side. Not too bad. I really did enjoy this one. It was very laid back, and now my Iron Man has even a bigger bank, so that's awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to see anything else, make sure to leave a comment below, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.